More Manchester United takeover news came out late last night saying the reason for the delay is that they are waiting for Qatar. Other stories coming out about Manchester United pursuing Tchouameni. Real Madrid have to sell the star in order to fund a move for Mbappe, and he has been linked with United and Arsenal. This is the second time he's linked to United, but is there anything credible in this? As we know, United is focused on Amrabat, and Amrabat's agents are reportedly in England, and we know from Fabrizio Romano, Amrabat has said yes to Manchester United. Maguire could be set to stay at Manchester United, and news coming in that a Greenwood announcement is expected later today, and inside sources at the club that have pretty good links. Pretty good sources are saying there's a feeling he could be announced as staying, and a lot of people are saying, could this be why the Højlund announcement is being so far delayed? So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and in today's video we're going to be discussing all the latest Manchester United news this morning and what came in late last night. I will be back in the afternoon for a live stream, so do subscribe for that and smash that like button. Starting with the first story, a story that is getting boring, a story that hopefully I won't need to talk about too much more, but Mason Greenwood, we've been hearing stuff ever since the charges have been dropped about him potentially returning. Now, initially it was first of all said that Mason Greenwood's most likely destination would be to go out on loan. United apparently got some offers from Italy and explored that deal, but they never sent him out on loan, which made me think, are they keeping him? The longer and longer this has gone on, it's made me think, are they keeping him? Now we know we're not getting Kane and we're getting an inexperienced striker in Rasmus Højlund. I think, are they keeping him? Reportedly, Adidas approved Greenwood's return. The fact that he's having a baby, he's back with the girl, very easy PR for Man United to spin. I've sort of started thinking that we're probably going to keep him, even though people I spoke to last month who were pretty reliable said, I think United are looking to send him out on loan. However, the United Muppeteers said this: there is a general feeling that Mason Greenwood will return to Manchester United's squad. That is the Muppeteers saying Greenwood is likely to return to the Manchester United squad. Now, the Muppeteers is a very good source of information. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of the Muppeteers because they do not like Qatar, and they're quite pro-Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and they're very biased with their takeover views, and I know that is controversial in the fan base. But opinions aside, in terms of United Muppeteers sources and connections they have to the club, and this is probably why they want Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because they've got good connections to the club at Man United. They do get good information, the United Muppeteers. They are a genuine source, and they don't put out stuff unless they've heard it from a genuine source, and they are hearing stuff about Greenwood returning to the squad, and from the people they're speaking to, they're getting an indication that United have made the decision to return Greenwood to the squad. This is a good source to United Muppeteers in terms of information. I think things are indicating a potential Greenwood stay, but it is said an announcement for Greenwood is in the next 48 hours. Fabrizio Romano confirmed today that Man United are going to announce what's happening with Greenwood in the coming days, and I know from other sources that Manchester United plan to announce Greenwood's future before Højlund, and a lot of people are speculating, are they delaying the Højlund deal because it will soften the reaction, because we know a lot of fans will be upset with Mason Greenwood's return. We know that if Man United sell Mason Greenwood, other fans will be upset. It's a big divide in the fan base, and this is why I don't like talking about it, because it's such a controversial topic. It's very decisive, and at the end of the day, I'm just reporting the news on Mason Greenwood, and that is that it's looking more and more likely that he will return. I wouldn't be shocked if they send him out on loan, just because I think that way they can assess how fans respond, how good he plays, how he responds to the mental pressure of playing again. I actually think, whole situation aside, it will be very difficult for Greenwood to return in England. All the crowds, all the stadiums are going to be on him. Mentally, if he does come back to United and he hits the ground running and he plays again for United, I would be quite surprised actually, because I think, he's going to have the whole stadium on him, isn't he? But enough of that story. I want to get into the takeover story, then I want to get into the Tchouameni story. So it was said on the Manchester United takeover that those close to the sellers of Manchester United insist that Sheikh Yassim's bid are behind the delays in the sale process. So Ben Jacobs has said that people he spoke to regarding the sale process have said the reason the Glazers are delaying it is because they're not happy with Sheikh Yassim's bid. Sheikh Yassim is still in the takeover. Sheikh Yassim is still confident that he will win the takeover, and Sheikh Yassim is still ongoing, having talks with the Glazers, but Sheikh Yassim's been very clear, that last bid was my final bid. I will not bid again for Manchester United. But the Glazers, despite signing all the paperwork, Sheikh Yassim, and 2 months ago it even came out breaking news that they were going to go into an exclusivity period and were negotiating it from Reuters, which is a tier 1 source, and they didn't. A lot of people went, has it broken down with Qatar and the Glazers, because there was a point where it looked like we were going to get the Qataris. Well, as expected, and as I've been saying for a while on this channel, Ben Jacobs is saying this is because they're not happy with the Qatar bid. They've got 5.5 billion, they want 6 billion, they're delaying to get a bigger bid out of Qatar, because they know Qatar increasing their bid by 500 million is like me paying £2 more for a meal deal. At the end of the day, if I really wanted a meal deal, I would pay £2 more for it. And that's what the Glazers think with Qatar. They'll pay that extra money. It's nothing to them, but it is something to Qatar. It's status, it's power. If they came for this deal after putting 3 bids in and saying their third bid was their final and they won't bid again, other people will go, you know what, we want more money when we sell to Qatar. They have the money. It's a business stance. Now, I'm fed up of talking of the takeover. We'll talk about that in more detail on my live stream later tonight, so do subscribe for that. But what is the transfer ins? What is the story on Tchouameni to Manchester United? It was said Manchester United are interested in signing Tchouameni, and Erik ten Hag is keen on bringing the Real Madrid midfielder to Old Trafford. I am sure United are interested in signing Tchouameni, and I am sure Erik ten Hag would love to bring Tchouameni to Old Trafford, but I'm also sure Erik ten Hag knows that he will not have the funds, and it will cost him about £100 million to bring Tchouameni to Old Trafford, maybe £80 million, €100 million. I think Erik ten Hag loves Tchouameni. I think United have wanted Tchouameni, and you know, if they had the funds, I'm sure they would be interested in Tchouameni, but I don't think it's going to happen. This is sport. It's a takeover for pinch of salt sauce. I see you guys tagging me in it, asking me about Tchouameni. That's why I wanted to address it in the video. I don't think it will happen. I'd be very shocked if it happened. Maybe if we had Qatari owners in, there would be a chance of this happening. Same with Harry Kane. But I think it will be Amrabat, and I think there might be one more signing after Amrabat. Reportedly a centre-back signing if Maguire leaves, but it's looking like Maguire will stay, and we'll get into that story in a second. Potentially a young forward after Amrabat to maybe add more depth to the front line. But honestly, I think it could be Amrabat, and that could be the transfer window. And the hold-up on Amrabat is United looking to sell players. And if Amrabat's 25 million and Tchouameni is probably going to be 80 million, and United aren't putting a bid in for Amrabat because they need to sell first, I don't think United are going to put a bid for Tchouameni. I'm sure Ten Hag likes the guy. We were linked to him last season. I'm sure if United had the funds, they'd be in for the guy. But I don't see Tchouameni to United happening. Now, what I do see happening is Maguire eventually leaving United, but it's looking less and less likely he's going to leave this summer. I think Donny will go, I think Fred will go, and I actually think Tchouameni will go, and we will get 3 midfielders out. But I don't think Maguire will go. Now, this is why, because Maguire's not that interested in leaving. Fred's happy to leave, Donny's happy to leave, McTominay's happy to leave because they know they're not going to get a lot of minutes. Mayno's coming through, they've signed Mason Greenwood and they want Amrabat. Harry Maguire knows that because Varane's injured, because he is better than Johnny Evans, despite some of you guys saying Johnny Evans better than Maguire. Let's be honest, Maguire is better than Johnny Evans. A few years ago, Evans was better, but right now, Evans is ageing. And because of Onana coming in and Maguire actually does play better with a keeper that comes off his line, Maguire might want to stay because he's like, I'm going to have to halve my wages if I leave, and I might get a bit game time and I might improve. And if I leave United, I'm going to play for a lower table club like West Ham, who honestly, with the way they're acting, West Ham could seriously get relegated. They're not acting like a proper club. So while I think Maguire should leave because for his sake, I think he could actually redeem his career and get regular game time, it looks like he wants to stay at United, which, considering he's the captain of the club and he's been stripped of captaincy and Ten Hag told him he doesn't want him and he's staying at United, speaks a little bit worrying about his mentality. But it was said, David Moyes is said to wish to try one more time with Harry Maguire despite the player's reluctance to join West Ham. So David Moyes is interested in Maguire. West Ham put in a bid for Maguire that was rejected. 20 million bid for a 40 million player. Of course that was going to be rejected. I do think United would accept around 30 million for Maguire because they know in a year's time they probably won't be able to get 20 million for him because he'll probably spend most of the season sitting on the bench and his value will depreciate. Same with Scott McTominay, and I think one of McTominay and Maguire has to be sold because they've got value now. I think they're just going to depreciate in value on the bench and they're not going to be regulars for United. But it was said today by Give Me Sport that new Erik ten Hag has told Harry Maguire that he's content with him staying at the club. And you know what? What we should have done is we should have got Maguire to go in May, June time, and we should have got Kim Min-jae. That's what should have happened. Kim Min-jae was £40 million. We should have got £30 million and really pushed the Maguire sale in June and then spent 10 million on Kim Min-jae. Brilliant. That's what Ten Hag wanted to do. That was the plan. Because a lot of the centre-backs out there that United have been linked with, do they put Varane on the bench? No. Could Kim Min-jae put Varane on the bench? Yes. When Man United sign a centre-back, I don't want us signing a player to be a fourth-choice centre-back. I want us signing a player that's going to put Varane as a third-choice centre-back and Lindelof as a fourth-choice centre-back. Do you get what I'm saying? And right now, Disasi has gone to Chelsea, who I didn't want at United, but he was a Ten Hag target. Kim Min-jae has gone to Bayern, who I would have loved at United. Timber's gone to Arsenal, and Juventus are in talks with Jean-Claude Todibo. So the 4 centre-backs that United have been heavily linked with seem to be not going to United. They're going to get moved elsewhere. Players like the Everton centre-back we're linked with is not good enough for United. Other players we've been linked with are clearly not good enough for United. There are some really good young talents in Liga NOS that will be a little bit on the pricey side for Benfica and Sporting with release clauses. And this is United's situation. They keep Maguire and Johnny Evans to be 4th and 5th choice, or if Luke Shaw counts at centre-back, 5th and 6th choice centre-back. And they go all out for a big expensive centre-back in a year's time when they would have those young centre-backs coming through from the Liga NOS. Lots of good options there. they could have 60, 70, 80 million to spend on centre-back. The idea of dropping 80 million on centre-back again though, scary. Or they sell Maguire for 30 million and they get 30 million replacement in. But that 30 million replacement doesn't put Varane on the bench. Whereas next season you can buy a centre-back that puts Varane on the bench. And if Varane becomes your third choice centre-back, you've got very good depth centre-back. So you know what, while I think Maguire should have gone and we should have brought in Kim Min-jae, I don't think Maguire's awful. I think Maguire can do a job as a fourth choice centre-back, but I'm going to hope that Varane and Martinez stay fit throughout the season. I think Maguire will improve with Onana behind him. I'm happy to have Maguire, Johnny Evans, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Varane and Martinez as my centre-back options for the season, as long as next season we go for a big right centre-back, potentially a right-back if needed, potentially more depth in attack. I think the most important signing that we do next is Amrabat, because it's very obvious then we need some more balance in the midfield, we need cover for Casemiro, and fingers crossed Kobe Mainoo's injury is only short term. That was the Manchester United news this morning. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. I could be live about 1 PM, so make sure you have the post notification bell on. Thank you for watching, bye. And also sorry for talking really quiet, I'm filming this late at night, put out in the morning.